Good evening, my YouTube friends. These little videos that I make are becoming more and more important for me to get things off out of me that I have kept inside for so long, and I'm very happy for each view and for each like that I get. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the prophet Daniel in the Bible, and I wanted to read a little bit about the prophet Daniel. I think it's on page 878, the book of Daniel, exactly. But first I wanted to speak about something that I that I was wrong about. I was wrong about the date when Jesus revealed himself. It was not on the 19th, it was on the 29th of November 2014, and I even wrote it somewhere in the Bible, so I would not forget. But I wrote this like a long time after it happened, so that I would not forget the most important things that Jesus told me. And I just like an hour ago or so, I made a video. Basically, I was a little frustrated about the whole this crisis that is happening, this health crisis that is happening, and I was speaking my mind, and I was angry and frustrated, and it was just a 5-minute video, and I said a few things just from my opinion, and I was immediately getting my video was taken down immediately, and I was getting a warning from YouTube that if I speak about this again, I will be blocked, and I will not be able to upload videos for some time, and so on. And this was like within 3 seconds after uploading the video, I had it was blocked, and I got this thing which has never happened before. So it's still okay to talk about Jesus, I hope so. I wrote it in my Bible, in which I bought after this happened, because I just wanted to possess my own Bible, and it was the last Bible that they had in stock, and I bought it in a big book store where they have which is basically the biggest bookstore in Graz, which is the second biggest city in Austria. And I called, and they said we just have one Bible left, and I said, please reserve it, I'm coming. And I was driving like an hour into the city, or something like an hour, maybe longer, and I bought me this Bible because I just wanted to possess a Bible which was not stolen, which I basically did when I was in the hospital. And they wanted to amputate my arm, basically, so that was the worst period in my life. And excuse me, so that was just my little niece again. So I'm still reading the Bible as often as possible. I try to read it every day before I go to bed, and I'm not always successful, but it helps immensely if you do that every day, to have this shield of faith and the sword of the living word every day, because it's a spiritual war every day, especially if you have basically lived most of your life like a hedonist, and basically you have no moral framework, and you are building a temple with Jesus by reading and repeating and learning the Bible and praying and having an active prayer life. And that's very important to build the temple within you, not like the Freemasons do, who try to build the Temple of Solomon, but we are trying to build a temple for God and for the Holy Spirit. And let us be wise men and build our temple, which is the body, soul and spirit. Let's build it on a rock, not on sand, like the foolish man, but let's build it on a rock, like the wise man. So I thought that it was on the 19th of November, and I was very happy that the 6-year mark is coming, but I completely forgot that it was the 29th, not the 19th. So the 6-year mark will be in 5 days from now. So, and I wrote into my Bible what Jesus told me and what I still could remember that he told me, and I wrote, this happened on the 29th November 2014. He said, you will look back on this day and see that this was the most important day in your life, or the best day in your life, which for a long time was very hard for me to believe, because for me it was the worst day of my life, because I nearly died from this bad reaction that I had from this medication that I was prescribed, and I nearly died in my room, and it was extremely painful. I never experienced pain like that, and I was in rehab several times, so I know the excruciating pain of withdrawals, but this was something else. This was really this was otherworldly painful. And then I wrote, an angel manifested in my room. He was a head taller than a human being, and a cloud descended from above and engulfed me. What the Lord said to me on the 29th of November, and I wrote underneath my second birthday, he said, "My son, I forgive you. You are forgiven. I will be with you even when you cannot see me. We will help you become healthy again. You are a son of God. You have a special purpose ahead of you. Do not be afraid. I love you, my son. You had to go through this hell to have the incentive to find me." And that may be true, because if all the bad things wouldn't have happened to me, maybe I would have never looked for a way out so frantically until I found one, like in the last minute or so, because it was bad. When I was 28, there was no hope anymore in my mind. So he said, "You had to go through hell on earth to have the incentive to find me. You are special to us. Be patient!" Exclamation point. "As a Christian, and learn. I knew you before you were born. I am the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega." So he never said, "Hello, I am Jesus," or something like that. He never said that. But it got abundantly clear to me after some time that this is a king, and for a long time I had this one specific doubt in mind, that somewhere in the Bible it says, "And even Satan himself disguises himself as an angel of light." But when I read the conversion of Saul to Paul, I saw the similarity. So I don't think that this was a deception. I don't think I had this thought for a long time that maybe this was I don't know, like a demonic manifestation or something, but I don't think that demons are that powerful, because it was like unbelievably powerful, like pretty much to the word, like the conversion of Saul to Paul, which is in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 3, I think. So that's what he said, and that's what I wrote into my Bible here. And I wanted to talk about, because Jesus stressed two things very much. That is, you have to be patient. Maybe because my body was so ravaged and damaged. Maybe that's the reason why he said that I would have to be patient, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a prerequisite for every one who is born again. And usually people think that at least I thought that, wow, there will be a miracle healing, and in 24 hours or so I'm healed, because it was so powerful. But that's not how it usually goes, and he stressed patience very much. And I think I have found a reason why he said that, and why patience is so important. And that's in the prophet Daniel chapter 10. And so I'm just looking for where it begins. So it is Daniel chapter 10, and I'm going to start at the beginning of chapter 10. So Daniel was a great prophet, and obviously a beloved prophet, beloved by God, and he was a very important prophet. And there in chapter 10 it says, "In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, until 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And in the hour and 20th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, which I think is the river Tigris, then I lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in colour to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. And behold, a hand touched me, which set me upon my knees, and upon the palms of my hands. And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 120 days. So the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood the angel that God sent 21 days. And then it goes, but lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. And behold, one like the similitude of sons of men touched my lips, and then I opened my mouth and spake, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. And it goes on. So, but what stands out is that this was an angel sent with a message to God's greatest prophet at the time, and this angel was held away by the princes or principalities over Persia. So when the Bible speaks about kings and princes, it does not always mean human beings. It also means principalities. So Daniel 10:13 says, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 120 days, but lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, the archangel Michael, came to help me. And I remained there with the kings of Persia. So he had to fight these princes, or in Ephesians 6:12, they are called principalities, rulers in the spiritual realms, and so on. So this might be a reason why Jesus stressed patience so much, because when God himself sends his messenger to his prophet, and these forces are so powerful that they can withstand him for 21 days, that gives you some understanding of why sometimes it seems like your prayers are not heard, and it seems that God doesn't listen or something like that. But that's not true. It's just that there are kings, princes in the satanic hierarchy, which are also very powerful, and they can ward off and fight off even angels which are specifically sent to God's most beloved prophet at that time with a very important message. For 21 days they kept him away from Daniel. So that's something that's very interesting, that these principalities are so powerful and can resist God in such a way. And I think that might be why Jesus stressed patience and faithfulness so much, because it's very easy to begin to doubt yourself, and then when you pray uh, it just seems not to work, and so there is this conflict, and sadly the other side is also very powerful, obviously, and that's why staying faithful and reading the Bible and being patient is so important. So thank you for listening, and have a good night and a good evening. God bless you all.